Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night on this April 19, 2013 transmission. We're going on air live about 10 minutes early from the refeed here at InfoWars Nightly News because Dzhokhar Zarnea is reportedly, we were hearing this on the police scanner they've got online, sort of getting ready to go live even before the mainstream media had it. They are now reporting on the London Telegraph that we have a feed of right over there exactly what we heard them saying. They were talking about how they were using rubber bullets on him in a boat, and they were also talking about how they were getting gas ready, or I guess something to burn him out, just like they did with Dorner. Now, there's so many facets to this in this latest update. And with the Dorner case, they didn't shut down Big Bear. They didn't shut down Southern California. They didn't shut down those areas for him. When they thought he was in a particular area, they would shut it down, but not the whole region. This is unprecedented martial law we're seeing. And we don't know the truth about what happened to his brother. We don't know the truth about what's happening to him. We don't even know if this is really happening, though the shots are being heard by the local and national news right after it came over the scanners that we're listening to, that people have a video camera on in Boston being fed over Ustream. There's over 1 million people on there right now watching this. Now, many of you are watching live right now, the streams for InfoWars Nightly News. Later, we're going to post this to YouTube, and you will know the aftermath in the future, obviously. All I can say is this. We were told by the media that it was going to be a right-wing lone wolf. And when I pointed out the Saudi Arabians with backpacks, and I pointed out the Navy SEALs with backpacks, and I pointed out the redneck with a backpack, I was never saying, and I'm clear on this, that any of them were the actual perpetrators. They are the patsies. They are people that are there that the media is going to focus on, but some of them clearly also have been hired to be part of the drill. We did deep research on the 7/7 bombings back in 2005 that happened in London. I flew to London days after it happened and went and interviewed people. And a lot of this later came out and was confirmed that drills were run of the exact same targets being hit at the exact same time, at the exact same location. That's impossible. And that was admitted by ITN and BBC. They hid that in plain view. So my issue was, as soon as it came out there were drills, I was like, whoa, this may be staged. And then as we learned that there was all these military personnel and people there, right where the bomb went off, clearly there to provide cover. I'm not saying they were even involved or that most of them were actually involved. It's that they're there just to provide a smoke screen, so you've got all this personnel there. And sure enough now, we're hearing the calls of, oh, they had guns. Let's restrict everybody's guns but the government. And sure enough, we're hearing the war on terror is back on. Ladies and gentlemen, our government, on record, is funding al-Qaeda in Libya and Syria and has helped give them cruise missiles. Has helped give them heat-seeking missiles, excuse me. So it is extremely frustrating to hear that I have to give up my liberties while heat-seeking surface-to-air missiles have been given to al-Qaeda in Libya, Syria, and other areas. The truth is the West uses al-Qaeda against Russia and other countries and other moderate Muslim countries that they don't want to be independent and self-sufficient. They send in al-Qaeda, as the British have been doing since the days of Saudi Arabia being formed with Lawrence of Arabia. But the point I wanted to get to here today is that they've been calling it a lockdown in Boston and other areas. That's a euphemistic, modern term, I guess, for being a prisoner in a prison block. But really what that is martial law. This is martial law. And just like with Dorner, they said, hey, let's burn that mother effing house down. Let's burn that mother effing thing down. And so all of this is going on. And then they go up and say, we have the fire, we've placed the fire, we're now going to burn it down. And then they burn it down, and then they say, oh, Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist. He is saying that they said they'd burn it down. There's no video or audio of that. And then they had to admit, okay, it's real, but they didn't mean really burn it down. So you have seen the spectacle here that's never before been done in modern history in this country of an entire city. Folks, look up the population of Boston. Isn't it like 600,000? Look at the population for me. 600 plus thousand last time I checked, because I visited family that was going to college here years ago. That was the population. Maybe it's grown or shrunk, I don't know. But a big city, a good-sized city, classic American town. And they said, we're going to search every house without warrants. That's martial law. Normal law is suspended. And the military with police come in your house looking for one man. What this really looks like is a concerted effort to cover up what's happening, because they were clearly, and Axelrod of the White House and others said Tuesday and Wednesday, it's going to be a right-winger, it's a lone nut, we can't tell you yet. And then they said, we've made an arrest. It's 600,000, so my memory served, about 640,000. So if memory served, 600 plus thousand people, and it's been accurate, and now they're saying we're going to come in all of your houses without warrants and do this. And again, if you go back, Axelrod and just all of them said, yes, it is right-wingers. And then by Wednesday, they said, you know what, we've made an arrest. We're going to roll them out at the courthouse. And they say, you know what, we're not going to make an arrest now. You know what? Forget that. We're going to evacuate the courthouse to get the media out of it and covered up what really happened. So this is out-of-control government in a giant martial law drill in front of everyone that's changed its story over and over and over again. And they are blocking on Facebook our articles and other articles that show all these mercenaries in their mercenary outfits in and around where the bomb went off. They are doing everything they can. The FBI is saying, do not look at anything but what we tell you, because this is desperate damage control. They were going to blame it on military veterans and Tea Partiers first. You've got all the articles about the Army preparing to crush the Tea Party and all these TV shows where the Tea Party is going to bomb everybody and they're terrorists. And then you segue from that to the media saying, okay, this is the Tea Party bombing and we've made the arrest. And then it's forget that. Now we're moving on to Chechens. Now we're moving on to some playboy, older brother who wanted to be a boxer in a scene, photographing himself dressed up like Euro trash. And then you've got his little brother. And for one guy, a city of 600 plus thousand is absolutely locked down. Something is wrong with this picture. And here's what I want to say in conclusion. People I really trust that have proven to be just incredibly accurate are folks like Joel Skousen of World Affairs Brief and countless others that I've interviewed, that I've talked to, that understand the history of false flag. And they are all saying that this has the telltale signs of it, and they believe it's false flag. So I wish from the bottom of my heart that this had been a real organic event. I mean, first, I wish it never would have happened. But if it's going to happen, if it was a real event of a lone crazy or two lone crazies, that would be a lot less scary than a big centralized government doing this to take our liberties. But because I saw all the preconditioning before this event took place, where every drama, sitcom, cartoon, Family Guy, you name it, every redneck goes and joins Al-Qaeda, and then the Army manuals say that that's the new thing that's coming. And even though it makes no sense, that's the branding. And the new threat is the Tea Party, not Al-Qaeda. You've all seen that. You've all heard that. Returning veterans, gun owners. And so then we see this happen, and we see a drill, which they get caught doing, but they then lie about. And then InfoWars goes out with Dan Badandi and my crew. We take over all three press conferences. We bring up the issue of false flag. It becomes one of the most searched terms out there. InfoWars probably gets, let's be conservative, 15 million extra visitors the last few days, on top of the regular million or so we get a day. It's creepy. I don't like being in this position. But I, as a real person, have a responsibility to come out and tell the truth. You think I like having the LA Times show me and my listeners as rats coming out of a sewer and then make jokes about I claim Navy SEALs did this with flying monkeys when I said, hey, Navy SEALs are there clearly, and that's now being reported by major newspapers? Do you think it's fun to engage the people that really staged this and provocateured it? See, what is a false flag? It's a lot of different things. It can be knowing somebody's going to do something and letting them do it to take control of a society. It can be helping those people do it, provocateuring, leading them. Or it can be purely staging something and blaming a patsy. And our government run by shadow forces, foreign banks, has staged the Gulf of Tonkin to get us into Vietnam, Operation Ajax, Gladio, Northwoods, and so many other events that have been declassified. A brief history of false flag terror attacks, going over all of these examples. It's just a simple frame up. And so we would be crazy not to look at this first as a false flag. And again, they were trying to blame other people earlier. And you can chalk that up to desperate police trying to find somebody. My issue is that in most cases, government has a hand in it. Even the New York Times has been forced to come out last April. In fact, guys, type in New York Times, FBI, terror. And the first link is the New York Times admitting they manufactured all these plots. They went out and found people, whole cloth, and gave them real weapons to try to cause attacks. Now, again, I'm not saying the whole FBI is even involved in this. The higher echelons that want to be able to grab power, be above the law, get rid of the Constitution, they want this. Because the money power in this country, the private Federal Reserve gets $85 billion a month of your private tax dollars now in too big to fail. They don't want to go to jail like Bernie Madoff or Ken Lay. They want to set the precedent under shadow government, national security, to be above the law and be able to disappear citizens and spy on us and do whatever they want, whenever they want. So right now, in fact, we have one of these clips where they talk about the gas, correct? And again, it sounds like they're talking about burning them up, but it could also be like CS gas or tear gas. And they also talk about firing dummy bullets, which is a term for rubber bullets, because a blank is called a blank, but a dummy bullet is a rubber bullet. It can also mean something else, but that's really a dum-dum, which is kind of a primitive hollow point. But the point is that big things are happening. And if they can burn up Dorner, who I'm not saying was probably a good guy, but who knows the truth, never got a trial. That's why we have due process. If they can burn him up and say, let's burn him up and then do it, who knows? Who knows if these guys are really guilty? Their friends, their family, their neighbors go, this guy was going to medical school. This guy was totally happy. I talked to him last week. There's no way. Did they get told, hey, you're secret agent man by all the CIA ads on TV? Did they get told, hey, be part of this drill, place these bags like the 7-7 people? Which, that is what happened there. Did they get set up like Muhammad Atta and others that were trained at U.S. military bases, like the Defense Language School on record? That's what has to be looked at. That's what I'm saying. And then don't let them come and say, we've got to have TSA on every street corner. We've got to take all your liberties. We've got to take all your rights to keep you safe when 400 National Guard, all these private contractors, 2,000 police and more was at that marathon, most of them at the finish line, and they couldn't save you. I mean, let's say the bombing's real. Let's say two guys from Central Asia did this. Let's say they really are Chechens and this really happened. You got to ignore the CIA's been funding the Chechen rebels for 20 years. Well, let's just ignore that too. They've got it more infiltrated than anything you can imagine. They're infiltrating Russia, just like they created Al-Qaeda. Let's just say it's real. Then keep your damn hands off my liberties and my freedoms, because they're coming after our guns. They're coming after our Fourth Amendment. They're coming after everything and saying you're going to have to get used to having your bag searched everywhere. What if there was a real terrorist? If I was a terrorist, hypothetically, or if you were, the first place you'd go would be to a security checkpoint with all those people and blow it up. You can't stop people killing presidents that have the best security in the world if someone's dedicated. This is a load of crap. It's a hoax that they can or will protect you. And look at Katrina. They didn't come and help you there. They came and took your guns. The government's training for civil war. It's training and branding patriots and veterans and gun owners and libertarians as the terrorist. And they tried to sell this as that until we, I think, exposed the patsy, the redneck patsy, the cutout. He might not even known it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing our best here. And I want you to pray for Infowars.com, because I'm real. My crew's real. We've been working, some of us, 18, 20 hours a day since this broke Monday afternoon. And the story is changing all the time. This is unraveled like nothing we've ever seen. I'm going to go to a special report with Leanne McAdoo on drones and the lies they've been telling there. We're going to come back with the live edition of InfoWars Nightly News with David Knight, and we've got Jakari Jackson and Marcos Morales and Darren McBreen and our good buddy in there, the great IT guru, the robot master, and we've got Zabish and Rob Dew just in there busting their butts to bring you this. And I want to thank you for supporting us as well, because I've been so busy the last week or 5 days that I've hardly even plugged our sponsors, our products, how we fund ourselves with your support. So InfoWarsStore.com. If you're not a PrisonPlanet.tv subscriber, one membership is 11 memberships, $5.95 a month, 55 cents per person. Get a master membership that's 11 memberships. Share your username and passcode, PrisonPlanet.tv. We're going to go to this special report with one of our newest reporters doing a great job. She won journalism awards at University of Texas. We're so happy to have her. And she's also worked in local TV. And then we're going to come back with David Knight, 20 years as a journalist and scientist, in studio, breaking down and giving you his perspective and his take straight ahead. But please, always question. Anybody that demonizes us for questioning is either ignorant or un-American or anti-liberty, because you should always question government. That's one of the third pillars, of journalism, is to question and check the government, the fourth estate. And our media has become repeaters that regurgitate what they're told. It's time to change that. And it's time to realize we're being demonized and attacked because we're on target. All right. We go to break now and come back with more of InfoWars Nightly News live at 6:07 Central Time, or 7:07 Central Time now. And we need to change that atomic clock over there. It's still off. Because I know it's 7:07, it says 6:07. And then we'll have more as they surround what I believe is a patsy. He may have been set up, may even be a real terrorist, but he's certainly being provocateur in Boston right now. We'll go ahead and go to that report.